Change code.
Me too.
Well, the idea of the haunted house came from Mindy, my sister-in-law. Her stepson Gage came home with an idea of turning their backyard or area of the back of their house into a haunt, and the only way you could get through the little haunted house was you had to come in costume, and he was in high school at the time at Ponchatoula High, and so my husband Neville did all the sound, and Davey, Mindy's husband, did all the construction of the walls, and then we as a family got together and just really decorated the little space, and it turned out to be so much fun doing that it evolved into Rise eventually. We actually have several meetings, but just the layout of the haunted house prior to the cemetery being added, it took a lot of rework. So I would say it probably took them 6 months to come up with the final floor plan of just the haunt. And then when they decided to do the cemetery, they actually got a little bit quicker with the floor plan, but they wanted to make sure that it was perfect, so they probably did that in half the time, but a lot of strategic planning, a lot of rework, and getting different opinions. We run it by everybody in the family and say, what do you think about this?
There's a lot of work that goes into creating and designing a haunted house. A lot of brainstorming. We have a small team that puts together a lot of the creative ideas for the haunted house. We attend several trade shows and conventions, which we get some really good ideas from. But most of it just comes from us as a team getting together, brainstorming, talking, collaborating, see what would be cool, what would be interesting to add as a new element to our adventure.
Like with any character you do in film or in theater, you have to, you can't just go out there and say, oh, I'm gonna be this scary person and then do it. You have to figure out like this person's like backstory, their life, like how they walk, how they talk, like the rhythm of who they are, and give them a personality and make them a special little snowflake. Well, special scary little snowflake.
The reason I wanted to work at Rise is because I like scaring people a lot. I usually scare my whole family, so my cousin Richard mentioned Rise to me, and my sister, and we decided to give it a try, and I liked it, so we kept doing it.
We had really fun in 2014, and that year I was mostly in the cemetery. And one of my favorite parts of that year is that when I was like outside on the ground, I like scared the crap out of Taylor because he didn't know what I was doing. I just like jumped up and like I scared the crap out of him, and that was one of my favorite parts.
I really like the atmosphere at Rise. I've tried to work at different haunted attractions, and it seems very industry and very exclusive. And here, it feels like everyone wants you to be here, and everyone's happy to see you, and we joke around and play around, and it's a very family-oriented environment, and it's a real breath of fresh air.
Some different folks were talking about how the haunters were starting to get into the escape room business. And so we decided to go see what escape rooms were all about. So we actually attended one in New Orleans, Clou Carré, and we thought, oh, this is great. You know, you kind of feel like you're in the setting. And we figured, well, we had the space, and it looked like a good revenue to do all year round. Since the haunted house is strictly seasonal, we figured that would be something for families also to do that didn't want to get scared, but they can come and do escape rooms. And so that's how we got involved in escape rooms. And we thought, well, it's another way to get our creative outlet on, since most of us are looking for ways to be creative, and that was another form of creativity, because it's just like the haunt, except it's not scary, but we do build rooms and sets to put you in that scene. So for instance, one of our rooms is called Hijack. You actually enter a plane, and it's that of a plane. It looks just like a plane. It was built to look like a plane, and the whole idea was so that you would feel like you were in a plane that was actually moving, and that you really had to escape, before the plane crashed. So I think that was just another avenue for us to get involved in to get our creativity on.
Coming in 2016, we have a haunted asylum that we plan on adding. It's going to be a 4D attraction, which means that the fear factor is going to be stepped up a notch. We are going to add soft touch to that attraction.
I plan to stay at Rise for a couple more years, as long as I can, because it's really fun here and I met a lot of good friends.
So I definitely want to stick around and see what amazing stuff can come from Rise. I'm really excited for the escape rooms, and maybe we'll add more attractions and I can help and be on the creative team for that. And I'd love to get into acting and just all the stuff behind the scenes. I'm really falling in love with the haunt world. So
We have the land, we have the space. Never did we imagine how much work it would be until we actually got involved, and it was too late to turn around. But they had so much fun working together as a family and a team. We just kept at it, and here we are 6 years later, and it just keeps growing.